Good morning, folks. Just wanted to check in here. Let everyone know that Ransom and I are going to be live here in about 20 minutes. And I have to take care of a few more things here at the farm, open up a few greenhouses, feed a few chickens, and we'll be back to discuss what's happening in the Meradalir Valley, which is just north of the Fagradalsfjall eruption. And we'll be discussing the new Fissure eruption, the fact that it is ripping open ever larger as we watch it, and the height of the column of lava is increasing as well. So it appears as if a moss fire pissed off the volcano and, implored it to erupt. And we'll see you all in just about 18 minutes. Thanks for tuning in. That's boom. Now, it seems as if they've got some air support up there, and we're going to get some better footage of this, which is good news, albeit it's a bit shaky. But stay tuned for some of the best angles and live stream coverage of the new eruption at the Reykjanes Peninsula, Fagradalsfjall Mountain.
That's an incredible moss fire.
Yes, indeedy. We're on StreamYard. Yeah, we're on StreamYard. It was Ransom. I have no echo now. No echo. Do we have any other echo? No echo, correctly? There is no YouTube speaker. There's only one speaker. This is a setup that it doesn't have an internal speaker or an internal mic. It only has what I've given it. And it was Ransom that was screwing up the feed, not me. So I had nothing to do with it. So Ransom had something jiggy going on there. And now we're back. And we could talk a little bit about this volcano. So before he comes back on, I'm going to give you the history of the volcano. The last eruption from this volcanic complex, we all know happened back March 19th of last year. But prior to that, it hadn't erupted since 1340. So there's a huge lull in the eruptive history of this volcano. And if you go back in history and you look at the Reykjanes volcanic system, when this N-echelon fissure system goes off, when this N-echelon volcano erupts like it does, another large, significant volcano in Iceland follows suit, like Grímsvötn or Askja or Bardarbunga. And we haven't seen that yet. And these eruptions can last, we already know, for months. The last eruptive period in this volcano was about 3 months. So if you are going to Iceland, get out there now. It'll probably continue for months as the crack has just opened up. And as you can see, over the past 12 hours since it began, we've seen the morphology change. Now, aviation color code was raised to red earlier today on the Reykjanes Peninsula, and I'll show you that map. But it has since been lowered, and let's share that with you. It has since been lowered to orange as we are speaking here. So that's pretty interesting. And I'll show you the aviation color code map in case you've never seen one. And actually, let's go over to the main map. How about we do that? See if Ransom comes back in here. So I don't know what was going on with his setup there that was screwing with me. I got to find a faster way to share screens on this, and that is an issue. So here we are at the blow up, and you can see Reykjanes Ridge down here, and the aviation color code was red several hours ago, and it is now back to orange. So that's what's going on there. And let's get back to the live feed. Do you guys want the single close-up or the multi-feed? Stop that spam echo. There is no echo. We fixed the echo. The typical time frame is the same time. So when these fissure eruptions go off, they last for months or years, like typically 2 years. And in the time frame of the eruption, a larger volcano goes off. So there's no lull, so to speak. They happen at the same time. When these fissures are going off, something else goes off. And just 2 days ago, we mentioned this last night, it might have even just been yesterday, they raised the alert level over at Grímsvötn, when it's actually the Grímsfjall volcano that there was an earthquake at. But so it's anyone's guess what volcano will erupt. We also have massive amount of uplift over at Askja, which is to the north of the Vatnajökull Glacier, where Bardarbunga and Grímsvötn are. And let's see if we can get Ransom back in here. All right, you're in. Are you echoing?
I'm echoing.
I'm not echoing.
I never heard you echo. That's what I was telling you.
All right, so we're both in the stream and we don't have echo.
I don't know what that was. Really,
it was your fault, though. As long as we can blame you, that's fine.
I'll take it. I wasn't listening to the show, so I didn't hear their feed.
Yeah, I turn everything off so I don't get an echo, and people are telling me to turn off my other things, and there's nothing on. I got a microphone. I've got a crappy Dell Office Optiplex that I got for $189. That's pretty high tech if you go to Walmart. And then we've got the, how much is this mic? I don't even know, $100?
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty
Cheapy.
good mic. Well, compared to the $8 mic I was using that was attached to my earbuds, this thing is the bomb.
It's awesome.
And you can mute it by touching it.
So what were we seeing last night? The really fast tracers. It was
moss. It was an actual moss fire or a nerve fire. But what's the odds that the moss fire beginnings of this eruption? I
think the lava started the fire, obviously.
The lava probably started the fire, yes, because the fire did not start the eruption. And I wanted to start the live stream by telling everyone that we had the first occurrence ever of a moss fire causing an eruption to occur. And
I don't think so. People are excited about this. So what does this mean long term? Is this the
420 says we could share this if you add a link in the chat. A link to what? To this stream? You just go to the top and you grab the address and you share it.
I'm sorry.
Is that really?
Here, I will share it for you guys here. There it is. In the magnetic reversal chat and Oppenheimer.
Are you sharing the link to the stream?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Beautiful. All right, we can talk about a few other things here while we're sitting here. The first thing we can show you is where this is occurring, because very few people have any idea where it's occurring. And it's in the Meradalir Valley, and I have an exact graphic for it. So for those that want to know and be in the know, I'm going to show you the map if I can figure out where it is. No, that's not it. There it is. And so you see the red line here? The red line is the current eruptive fissure, which you can see is north of the old cones. So the orange here is the lava that filled in from the last eruption. And you could see the fissures numbered 5, 3, 6, 4, and 2. That is from the last eruption from the same volcano, which is called Fagradalsfjall or Kreisuvik Trollingaya. Either one is correct. Fagradalsfjall is a little easier and a single word, but this fissure is now to the north of there. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means we're going to see some lava probably flowing north into this valley, because if you just look at the contours, you can see where that will fill in there. And there's really nobody out there. If it continues long enough or more fissures erupt, it could threaten Grindavik, but the location of this eruption is literally the best place it could be for all involved. It's not threatening any roads. It's not threatening any homes. It's not threatening any people unless they're dumb enough to walk out there right now, which I'm sure they are. Do you remember last year there were people walking on the hot crust of the lava when they could simply step through and their leg would melt off? Now, luckily, that didn't happen, but it's crazy. So this is the location of the eruption currently happening north and a little bit east of the original vents from the last eruption, which began last March. Any questions on that?
So this is on the north side of, let me see if Google Earth is lying to me. No.
You spin it. Yep. You want to go to the Reykjanes Peninsula to the left. Yeah. And then blow it up. Spin it a little more.
There we are.
There we go. And blow it straight up. So you want to come down to that little crease at the bottom of the peninsula. There's like the highest point north in that bay there. And then you see the tiny peninsula right there below you? Grindavik is to the left. Yeah, you're coming right in on the valley there. in the Meradalir Valley. Can you find this exact feature? Let me, where is it? You need to look for Storthhutter, this little mountain here, and then a ridge. Storthhutter. So this is the name of a mountain here, and it's saying that the eruption is just to the north, maybe a few kilometers. I actually had
free parking right here.
Free parking.
Yeah.
Do you want to share? Can you share that on the main screen?
Yeah, just make me the main screen. It's already there.
Well, you're doing it a little weird, but
that way there's no lag or nothing. I don't know. So this is this the mountain right here? The cone? Or no? You got a lot of free parking at this volcano.
well, lots of people were out there yesterday, and lots of people are walking out there right now as we speak, I'm sure.
Maybe they could let us drop down there. Nope. See, that Google Earth ain't that great, huh?
Well, what are you looking for the eruption on Google Earth? It's 3-year lag.
No,
oh.
No, I was looking for the feature there. I was trying to put the guy down there, the little dude. You know, you could put him on the road.
Well, blow that up right where you are there. I mean, I could show you where it is. It's not in glow.
See, here's the trail.
Yeah, follow it in. Follow it in to the lava field. All the way in. We need to go way in. We need to go like a mile, so you're nowhere near it. So pan back out, and I can show you exactly where it is.
All right. Let me see. How do I exit out of this thing? There we go.
Okay, so the way you have it oriented is kind of bizarre because it's not correct. There you go. So where the pin is in the middle, the farthest left red pin, just go straight up from that.
All right.
It's to the north and a little to the right. Yeah, we're actually, yeah, it's right in there. This is where the fissure is, almost where you're pointing. And if you zoom back out a little, can you go back out 2 clicks?
Yeah.
And then go a little south down where the lower red pins are and blow that up near the free parking 2. Stop it right there. So right there, stop. You have a black line going, nope, pan back down. Pan back out. All right, you got the black mountain in the center top, and then a black snake below it. Do you see those 2 features?
Yeah.
Can you use your cursor? Yeah, so there's the snake you just did, and the mountain to the north. Now, go straight north of that mountain. Right there, the black. Yeah. See the black crack?
Yep.
No, the other black snake, right in the middle of that, to the left, I think. Yeah, maybe that right where you're pointing, that black field.
Yeah, this is a flow right here.
Yeah, so it's happening to the very north of that, the tippy toppest. No, I think right on that feature, on the black.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks like you can see stream right there.
It's to the left of that ridge. So when you hit the ridge, it's to the left of it in the valley. That's interesting. So let me see, go back to where you are. Yeah, it's actually in the valley there.
Okay.
And I wonder, are those roads or is that creeks?
Yeah, it looks like water runoff. That's what I was saying.
Interesting.
The flow here.
So there's nothing there. There's no houses for miles. It takes hours to walk into this place. So it's good news. This is a new tourist trap. So that's good news for the tourism. And let's get a close up and see what's going on there at the volcano. No, it's actually not on the hill. It's in the very bottom of the valley. You can see it. The hill's to the right. So that ridge we were looking at, you can see sticking up in this live stream, that brown thing on the right side. That is the ridge we were looking at. And it's down in the hole, down in the holler. But in just a very short period of time, Dr. Enoch, the boss, to boom or not to boom, that is the question, Dr. Enoch. But look at the volume of lava coming from this fissure. If you remember the last eruption, it took quite some time for it to build over days before there was actually lava flowing. Look at this lava field that's happened in the last few hours. I mean, that's
wild.
That's like 20 acres already.
Yeah.
And it's moving quick. So this is going to be spectacular to see tonight. The interwebs and the entire internet's going to explode because you know what happens when the sun sets here. It glows. And so that's going to, and it's only dark for a few hours in the summer in Iceland. So everyone's going to be up from like 9 to 3 a.m. watching this baby glow. And also we should be watching for the historical fact that based on the study I did last year, that another large volcano is probably going to go off. And now this is the one we have to worry about, not the fissure or the flank eruption. This is pretty. This is a tourist eruption. This does produce lots of sulfur dioxide, which could be and other bad things in the smoke, like silicon dioxide, like you can breathe that, remember in Hawaii when they were warning of all of the dangerous lays?
You don't want to breathe the glass
haze. Yeah. Yeah. So that's bad for you, bad for your lungs. But this is pretty. So, and the trails already exist to get here. The only problem is it's on the far north side of where it was erupting. So you can't go across the existing lava easily. So everything is going to be far away. You can't get really close to this one unless they make some new trails around, which I'm sure they're working on right now. So big boom out to Dr. Enoch.
I'm waiting for the first drone flight because they're already there trying to do that.
Yeah, and it got so crazy last year. People were just buying drones to melt them into the lava. You just fly it in and it melts.
Yeah, it's gone.
And I think that because nobody was injured last year in the Fissure eruption, that there probably are going to be some casualties because people are going to get extra dumb on this one. What are your thoughts out there, guys? Amber Lynn says, boom, Dr. Enoch.
Don't
2
do
million. What did you say?
I said, don't do it. Don't walk on the lava.
Yeah, don't do it.
Not a good idea.
And remember, if you see it, if anything, even though it looks black and it's still glowing red, it's still glowing red. This type of lava can retain its heat for years. And it's pretty similar to the lava in La Palma. And those big lava flows are still hot. And that stopped erupting quite a bit ago. Although people are still waiting for it to erupt because they're that crazy. The lava that erupted in La Palma is still hot. If you just go down 1.5 feet, you could melt glass. So even though it's cold on top, it's still hot. It takes a long time for this type of lava to cool.
I think that was the first thing they told me in junior high science is what's the difference between hot and cold glass when you're looking at it? Nothing until you touch it and burn yourself.
Jason Aldosen says there's more to the north. So maybe let's go check. Let's go get a different. I'm going to get a different feed here. And we'll take a look at maybe some more developments here. What do we have here? Let's share this one. Let's go big. So we got the aerial up. Yep. And he's looking north near the Moss Fire. And there might just be a fissure near the Moss Fire. Let's see if he flies over there. Or it could just be another Moss Fire for all we know.
Yeah. This hashtag's blowing up now.
What's the hashtag?
Fagradalsfjall.
Fagradalsfjall. Fagradalsfjall. Fagradalsfjall.
Something like that. That's a tongue tire for sure.
I can't believe they haven't censored it because it starts with fag.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not.
It's just smoking. That's all it's doing.
Can't we just say queer Raddersfall? Can we just say it?
Maybe. I don't know. I think I got banned for joking around like that. So
what
know.
On a live stream?
Yeah.
All right, we'll stop that. We will stop that. You're too south, says Charles Pico. We're not providing these live streams. These are people in Iceland doing it. I'm sitting in Colorado in a barn, and Ransom is in the desert in southern New Mexico. So we don't have videos on these fissures. Other people do. We're not in the airplane right now. We're not in contact with the pilot either. So,
however, now I'm in contact with the volcanologist that says she's at the airport and she'll arrive around midnight and give updates. Ooh.
Is that the one that we tried to get a play date with?
Yeah. She answered. She says, we're on the way to the airport and we'll arrive around midnight tonight in Iceland.
All right. So let's set something up tomorrow afternoon when she's on the volcano.
Sweet. Reach out and touch someone. Social media.
Always. Yeah. Now, a lot of these scientists, they're looking to get information out there, and a lot of people don't care about fissure eruptions in Iceland, except people that follow our channels, clearly. Now, the reason this is significant is not because of the eruption that's happening now. It's not near any homes. It's not going to threaten anything. If the fissure gets longer or the lava starts coming out in huge volumes, then we have to worry about which way it's flowing. It can go south to Grindavik. There's a town down there. It has a long way to the north, but it can make it all the way to the sea in the north. And that's bad news because it cuts off the largest highway in Iceland, the only one that gets to the major airport. Also, it's going to be heading towards Reykjavik. So once it hits the ocean near Reykjavik, then the whole city could potentially be covered in toxic gas. So there are some problems that could possibly develop from this fissure eruption, but none of them are imminent currently. And we just went over all the scenarios, I believe.
You keep answering my questions right before I ask them. I was going to say, what is there really potentially dangerous about this? It's pretty slow moving, right? So it's never going to be like something explosive that, like something else. Just
no. And the eruptive history, there's lots of recorded eruptions prior to 1400, especially in 1200 and earlier, that have pretty good geology, because the geologists in Iceland are awesome because it's all volcanology. So volcanologists go there all the time to study lava. And so it's pretty high resolution. There's been the entire Reykjanes Peninsula is only there because of fissures erupting. So the entire city of Reykjavik is on a lava flow. It's a no-brainer that after hundreds of years of nothing happening in Reykjavik, at some point they're going to be screwed completely. Like everyone will have to move. The reason Iceland wasn't settled until around 1300 is because it was constantly erupting. You bring your ship up near it and you're like, oh, turn around. Like, why would you go up here?
This is a bad time. We'll come back.
So one year they pulled up, it wasn't erupting, and they're like, this is great. Look at all this new grass. But they should have known when they didn't see a single tree that there was something wrong with the island.
This footprint story on another note, the ones in Utah, they're suggesting now that they may be able to find tracks all the way across the west to everywhere. That's their new theory. Yeah,
well, the LiDAR technique that they used in White Sands got really refined. And then when they found the first print, they got the scientist, they ran him up there to Utah, and he quickly found 86 tracks using that technique. And then it's like a no-brainer. The one scientist was like, hey, do you think we can look at other salt flats and find prints? And he's like, of course. You just got to give me the money. I mean, it's all based on the money. So you need the money to take the team out there to do the LiDAR and then to interpret the results. And that takes money. Now, if someone wants to buy us a LiDAR, we'll go do it for free. And we'll find thousands of tracks, but that's going to be about $80,000 to get us a LiDAR.
Right.
Because all you have to do is go there, set up the equipment, shoot the picture, and look at it, and you're like, there they are. Then you got to find how deep they are and excavate them. Or not. You don't have to excavate these tracks.
Right.
You can simply make a map of where they all are.
Well, I have a question for you about that. On their dating system at White Sands, they're talking about dating the seeds and, you know, all of this other
And a
stuff.
hearth. Yeah, there's a hearth in Utah. There's seeds in White Sand. So that's how you do the dating.
Well, my question is sometimes when you're near radioactive stuff, you get a future date, or it affects the date a little bit. And this track is not far from Trinity site. So would that affect the dating at all? And also, what about the repeated water precipitation going up and down through the sand? Would that change the radiocarbon dating?
It would, and saturation can change it. There's tons of papers on what waterlogged things and will do to carbon dating. But this region has not been wet for 9,500 years. It was wet a little bit during the early Holocene, which is when these prints are being made, and before that, but it quickly dried up and it has never been wet since. So that is why the use of carbon dating in this region is excellent, because it was only wet around the time the prints were made. And so this is basically how they do it. They do the LiDAR, they find the print, you excavate the surface down to the actual print surface, and then you look on that surface for pollen and seeds and debris, and then you date that. So you're getting the date of the debris on the surface when they step there. So it's pretty accurate.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering. You don't think that the radioactive effect of how it pushes dates forward would affect it? I mean, if it's so close, are we looking at a 30,000?
A nuclear bomb is not, you would have to be,
enough?
You'd have to be next to it. And then in which case it would be completely different. Yeah. Like that minor radiation like that is penetrating through Earth all the time and through us. Like people, how many microwaves are on right now?
Right. Got a nuke a burrito.
Yeah. So you would need a space event. And because it's so recent and it's after the Younger Dryas, the ones in Utah, really good dates. And the 20,000-year-old, all they had to do is make it through the Younger Dryas. So carbon dating is not perfect, but if you take 20 samples and date all 20 and get within a few hundred years, you're probably looking at a correct date. If you get dates all over the place, that's when you're going to start to question radioactive decay or something screwed with it. You're going to get like a 10 million and then an 80,000 date. And then you're going to be like, what?
So those are pretty reliable. Which makes me ask another question.
But that's not all they use. So you don't just do this carbon date.
Okay.
You look at all the proxy. So they already have hundreds of other papers on time frames of pollen from lake sediments. So they know when plants and things are in different regions. So if you find this pollen and you carbon date it to 11,000, then you check the pollen chart and it went extinct 10,000 years ago. You're like, oh, well, it's definitely older than 10, and we dated it at 11.
Yeah.
So you use multiple points.
Right.
Is Lake Mead a volcano? No, Lake Mead was a valley that they put a dam on. So all these giant lakes out here were created. Hoover Dam and Lake Powell and Lake Mead. They found a pinch point in the desert that was really thin and said, if we find this thin area, this pinch point, it's an easy place to build a dam. How much water does it fill up? So they looked all over for these slot canyons and said, if we build a cheap dam in here, how much water does it hold behind it? And it holds trillions of square miles of water, potentially, if it's full. And so that's what they did. They just looked for slot canyons to build a dam, and then the water backfills into the entire desert. I mean, these are miles and miles. Alien Allen used to work. Gosh, I wish I knew which one. Lake Powell or Lake Mead, the biggest one.
Right.
When it was full, and he said it's so much different now today, but when it was full, it took you days. It's like an ocean to go the whole length of it. You know, it's 50 miles to the other side.
Right.
That is not a small pond. So, and they're not volcanoes. They just were looking to build the cheapest dam in the desert in the narrowest place to fill up the most water. And that's why we've got the Hoover Dam and other dams like that.
If the dam wasn't there, how would they say that climate change is, so bad when every time they let the lake dry up?
If that's funny, it's funny. And I've been explaining this for 5 years. By making the dam, they've now been able to create climate change. Because over the last several decades, since it hit full pool, these lakes all hit full pool around 2000, like 22 years ago, all of the big lakes out here. And that's when the greedy pricks that built these dams started to go to work. And they oversold all the water all around the world. And starting in 2000, they started pumping out more water than was coming in.
Yeah.
And that's like you could talk to a second grade class and say, kids, what would happen if we had a lake and we took more water out than we put in? Little Jimmy would raise his hand and be like, the lake will go dry.
Right.
And then you'd say, what does it have to do with climate change, Jimmy? And he would be like, you're an idiot, teacher. Because it's simply the math. They're pumping out more water than is coming in. And they don't have to do that. But because they've signed contracts and they sold their soul to other states, then the lakes go dry and they blame me and you. Is that ridiculous? Like, what in the hell do I have to do with pumping out more water than is coming into the lake? That's on you, lake manager.
And I always wondered that, they show these stories about how the lake goes dry. And my immediate thought is, isn't that a man-made lake that never existed? Yeah, because you guys
happened
made it
in the desert in somewhere like in Saudi Arabia. I don't know. We did a story on it. The lake went dry and exposed a whole ancient city. But it was 4 years ago that the city was exposed. When you go look at the lake refilled now. And if you go read the article, it says climate change exposes ancient cities. And then you're like, well, now it's buried again. So what does that mean? The climate stopped changing?
How do they, deal with these places that are markers of sea level when it comes to talking about sea level rise? And they've been saying it so long, and the level, you can check it, like, 16,
all the major
20.
landmarks, right? In Australia, in New York, on the West Coast, all the major landmarks that were sitting in the 1850s that we have pictures of, the sea level is exactly the same today. There's no way to tell the difference.
Right.
And Barack Obama owns oceanfront property in Martha's Vineyard. This is an island out in the ocean, and he's on the beach. Perfect storm. Did you ever see that? He doesn't care.
Well, think about this. Wouldn't they be evacuating Washington, D.C. and New York and Miami and all these places that would be destroyed if the water kept coming up? There's no plans to do that.
There would be a 10-year evacuation plan, right? These people got to get out by then, and then these get out by then because the water will be up to here. But they know that none of that is happening, and that's why none of these things are implemented.
Makes your $1 million estates much more, valuable, though. It's limited time.
Do you know the 420 network? They're in the house.
Sweet.
They say that this so-called moss fire is expanding quickly.
Yeah.
Stephen A is in the house. Crazy stuff. Rolling Trouble. Karma on Camera last year. I've got a good flight to Reykjavik, says Window Bridgest. Nicholas Perch. Lower Valley area has been filling fast. What direction will the main flow go? Well, because the former flow is in front of it, we can see that, Nick, that the camera angle is on the old flow. It's very high and thick, that this lava only can go north from the map we looked at. So it should squeeze out through the valley to the north. Now, I'm going to double check the topo maps. I don't have them up. I didn't really get any. But because we know now specifically where this fissure is, it should flow in this angle where the helicopter is to the right.
Yeah, that's a nice aerial shot.
I just got a little dizzy. He's just going in 360s there. You got to really locate where the ocean is to make a call. But we can see the old eruption now if you just were to pan around here.
Yeah, it seems to be going right down the same path.
A terrible cameraman in the helicopter.
Probably dizzy too. There's two choppers right next to each other.
Oh, that's hot. They're Coast Guard. Official. So these were the same choppers that were out last night.
Right.
They were telling us about the moss fire. Now, do you think those pilots feel stupid, or do you think it was really a moss fire? Or like what? Do we have a conclusion? Or will it
I think it just left out the part of why there was a moss fire.
Yeah, because I did see the speculation, like, why would there be a moss fire? There hasn't been lightning for 14 days.
Right.
Spontaneous Icelandic moss combustion.
Well, climate change sometimes causes...
is really hot. They said the moss was dry and very hot to the touch because of climate change.
Spontaneous moss combustion.
Yeah, and so the moss lighting on fire literally creates the heat link to allow the lava to come up.
Right. But it's, we need to block the CO2. So maybe they should get out there and cool that off.
This is a live action role play, and we are pretending now.
I'm kidding. Yeah. No, where's Greta? I mean, this is a climate emergency right here with all those gases escaping.
Scotty NYC says, culling the volcano tourists. Yes, indeed. Rabbit Ears is in the house. Mike Young, all the sun. Justin Abramson. I don't know what you're saying. Please explain. Well, that was 15 minutes ago, so that's weird. Chief Smokey says, damn, I missed that voice. It's been a while. And the 420 Network is in the house. And Stoner Bob is in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Technolopsophiler Nas says, I proudly support fissure eruptions in Iceland, as well as us. Kristen is thanking both of us. Kristen R. Adams, thanks Diamond and Ransom. Chief Smokey, this Fagradalsfjall. It's Fagradalsfjall. Oh, he's trying to pronounce Fagradalsfjall. It's Fagradalsfjall. That's his pronunciation.
Fagradalsfjall.
That's phonically, yeah. You could break it up in fag, rad, girl, shall.
Rad, man.
It's a rad, yeah.
It's dead ass serious here with the lava flow.
John said, is this releasing pressure or signaling a big one from a larger eruption? So the volcanoes that are larger volcanoes are not associated with this volcanic system. This volcanic system is the Kreisvik Trollgnaya, which is being referred to as the Fagradalsfjall. This system is not a normal type of stratocone or cinder cone that explodes up like a big volcano. Those would be Hekla, Astja, Bardabunga, Grimsvötn, et al.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is an ignorant question. Is this pulling apart or just a thin spot?
We're on at the mid-ocean ridge. It's all spreading here.
Okay.
It's all fissure eruptions caused from spreading. In this case, the magma just came up and a crack formed, and it's now just coming out. And that is what you call a shield volcano. When there is really no action going on, it's very calm, and the lava just comes out through a hole and flows out, which makes Hawaii. Hawaii is the ultimate shield volcano. So this is a very similar type of eruption, which is why on Hawaii, the other night we covered that there are 5 volcanoes on the Big Island. We only know of 3 of them, Mauna Loa, Mauna Kea, and Kilauea, because they look like volcanoes. The other 2 volcanoes are the same as this type of an N echelon fissure array where cracks just open up and lava pours out. And those have names too on the Big Island. They're in the north and the west. And so to answer the question, John, is this releasing pressure or signaling a big one? They're not related. This is releasing pressure here at this volcano. But when this type of shield volcano erupts in Iceland, other big volcanoes also erupt. So it might be some kind of cycle underneath the whole island that brings up large amounts of magma to the island and causing multiple eruptions at once. The last time this happened was over 600 years ago. So if we get a large volcanic eruption happening at the same time as this, it will be one of the most historically witnessed events in Iceland history. And there will be lots of tourists there to witness it because people are now going to be flooding to Iceland. So we could see a mass casualty event if a bunch of idiots are near a volcano because it starts rumbling and they're like, let's go near there. Boom.
They'll be fine with the COVID mask.
Yeah, as long as you have your mask on, you'll be all right when a 4,000-ton hot lava bomb hits you in the head. Now, do you remember when this was erupting, people were actually standing there and it was raining down debris on them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the stupidity is endless and the potential. Yeah, so Fagradalsfjall is basically the mountain in the beautiful valley, and it's easier to say than Kreisvik. So they just go with that, the mountain. Plus, it's easy to find. It's not actually a volcano. It's a mountain. Which is the never-ending confusion in Iceland.
This is where you throw your trash piles. That's what they're saying in your chat. Remember the videos of when they threw trash in it?
No, they were throwing trash in the last eruption?
That's what it says. I don't know. It's like throwing it off the end of flat Earth.
Well, that would be the best thing. But don't people live underneath flat Earth?
I don't know. I never quite got that. Is it a two-sided Earth like that, or is the bottom just dirt?
There's a turtle holding it up, right?
Yep. It's a tree, man. It's a big tree.
But there's a huge ice wall you can't get by. It's like 900 miles high. And,
when I was a kid, I always thought it was more possible the Earth was just bigger around than being flat. And they just, that would make more sense if there was an ice wall to keep us in here on the little spot.
Jimmy in the house. The truth is always the funniest thing. Ain't that the shit, Jimmy? Stephanie Smith. I won't say that.
0.56 of the Earth average, huh? So
what?
The 420 network posted 50 active volcanoes. 0.56 is about the average.
56 is the average. I don't think 50 are erupting. It's probably a little lower than that, 48. I'll give it 48, but it's been even lower than that. So it's been between 35 and 45 for the last several years. And people think there's an increase. No. If you go just in the Holocene, that's a true number. 420 is put up there. 56 is the average. That is correct. And we're not at average. And I often say that we would have to have more than 100 volcanoes erupting to be in a volcanic crisis. So we're far from that. And just remember, folks, all we need is a single volcano to go off as supervolcano. Supervolcanoes, what we now know in the last few years from papers, is they may give no warning. So could you imagine? There's no seismic swarm. There's no uplift. You just all of a sudden at Campe Filegre get a VEI-7 that erupts into space, kills 80,000 people instantly, and darkens the sky for 3 years. That is when the shit hits the fan. And you don't need CNN to tell you because you will feel it. The whole Earth will be jolted. The shockwave, just like Hunga Tonga, will move around. Your animals will respond. And then later that night, the sky will darken. The sunsets will be insane. And even if you're in a different hemisphere, it will affect you. And so that can happen right now. And so that's why we say be prepared. If you only have 2 days worth of food and a pack of ketchup in your fridge, holy macaroni.
Right.
I used to live that way. And when I get hungry, I'd make like pasta and ketchup. It was amazing.
Tomato soup.
Yeah, baby.
It's amazing what ramen can do.
Yeah.
Actually, ramen noodles is where I started eating healthy. I started stir frying vegetables and stuff and throwing it with it because I couldn't handle just water.
Water and trisodium phosphate or whatever's in that packet.
Now I just leave out the rum and
Yes, Brian Anderson, Yellowstone could erupt at any time without warning, according to some papers. Cynthia Schramm says the Fed is buying the bond market. Buy silver. Yeah, silver could explode here. It might come down again, but I doubt it. I think we hit the low for a while. I think 1350 3 years ago, when I told everyone to buy was a low. I think when it hit 17 this year was another low. But it's now popped in the last few days above 20. So anyone that's still holding silver, hold on. And just wait to sell. Don't buy more at this price. I never buy in during the upswing. That's just stupid. Yeah.
I got a deal, man.
Bitcoin's at 50 grand. I just bought 3 of them. I'm like, at 50 grand? Yeah. Oh. You're supposed to buy Bitcoin at 18,000 or even 300, like many people. Not at 50,000.
My grandpa used to tell me we're going to go broke trying to save money from doing stuff like that.
We're going to go broke trying to save money?
Yeah.
What do you mean? But buying high?
He would just make comments about my grandma would buy like 40 boxes of turnips cans because they were on sale or something. And he would always joke about that. We're going to go broke trying to save money.
Oh, that's funny, but that's not even the truth. You're actually not going to go broke.
We got some of that 20-year later food. I went through it. Some of it was still good.
What is it, canned stuff?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. A 20-year-old can is marginal, and unless it's Armageddon, I don't know if I'd be popping that open and eating it.
You can tell right away when you open it.
Yeah, it's either looks the same or it don't.
Yeah. The tomato sauce, if it's black, don't eat it. It's gone.
Black tomato sauce sounds fantastic. Boomer Bear says, this is what I like to think of as a civilized volcano. Absolutely. It allows you to get close. It allows tourists to fly in. It allows you to photograph it. The best time to look at these fissure eruptions is at night. It is completely mesmerizing. You guys all remember when the fissures opened up in La Palma. Remember those? The fountains. And so it's spectacular. So we should get some amazing footage later tonight. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be available. You should do a live stream later, Ransom. Leah's sister is flying in for a week, so I'm going to be very busy.
Cool.
Yeah, should be fun.
Family time.
Well, it's more like vacation time for me because Leah has to entertain her. So I'm like, we actually get to do stuff? Wow.
Yeah, right.
So it'll be a week of boating and sightseeing and hiking.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, pretty stoked. We tried to get into get a private tour down at Mesa Prieta, the super petroglyph site, which is right between you and I.
Yeah.
But they're booked. They're like booked through the fall. So I'm going to try to book a tour. And when you book a private tour, it's up to 5 people. So we can have 3 other people. It's just me and Leah. So you guys are invited.
Sweet.
But you'll have to go. I think it's about 3 hours north of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we could do some excellent videos there.
There seems to be lots more petroglyph sites than are advertised.
Yeah, and some of the greatest petroglyph sites are hidden in private, like Mesa Prieta.
Right.
It's crazy.
You have to get a Navajo friend if you live in New Mexico. They're very valuable.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I have several, but, they're the beer drinking, joking around kind of people. They don't even know about it either. I'm telling them about stuff and they're like, what?
Yeah. No, Shondell, we got him, but we have to drive we have to go get him. So
yeah,
he's in,
he lives on the res though.
No, Shondell does not. He lives in an apartment right outside of, where the hell is it? Man, what's the city south of Durango? Farmington. Farmington. Oh. Yeah, he's right outside of Farmington. So
that's a native joke.
You got to pick him up in Farmington and then drive him. So that's 2 hours to get him. And then
that's a native joke, Diamond.
What is
about leave it? People say I left the res, and then other people go, it's Farmington, bro.
That
It's
is
a
the res?
joke. I'm serious
It is a joke.
about not leaving the res because you moved to Farmington. It's Farmington, bro. Come on.
Is that the res? Same thing?
Oh, wow.
I haven't spent any time in Farmington. I've driven through it.
Yeah.
That's about all I can say. All right, how many people we got in the house? Over 300 watching. That's pretty cool.
Right.
And we're just bantering. We're not even talking about the eruption. That's how exciting it is.
It's very slow moving. Now I'm waiting for tonight. It should be beautiful.
Yeah. How long we've been going? An hour and 45 minutes. Now I started the stream 45 minutes before we came on, and we just let it stream. So before we go, hey, Sherry 333 is from Farmington. We got Farmington people in the stream.
What up, New Mexico?
Brian Anderson says Pagosa Springs is nice. Electric Dog says, remember how Bob got swamped by Ragnar? This will do similar. Do you understand what that means?
No.
Okay.
Was I supposed to?
No, I'm just.
Ragnarok? Ragnar? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah, what's that?
The end of days? I don't think it's that. It's this calm volcanic fissure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Bob was the name of one of the vents on the original eruption from this volcano last year. I don't know if Bob is vent number 1 or vent number 5. We got some porn coming in. Can we please get that out of there and block the user? All of a sudden, there's like 50 posts come up all at once. I don't know how they do it. Just like, blah! Did you see that pop up? What is that?
That is a baby blue corn kernel.
Here, let's get that. Oh, that is nice.
And I got a bunch of them. Awesome. I've been making specific colors. I'm not doing too good on the pollination, but yeah, that's really blue.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I got about 3 or 4 weeks until we get our first selected stuff from this year. And I'm trying to make the same thing as you. You're trying to get the green pot leaf.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get granite, like speckled.
I have a whole bag saved of speckled seeds.
Yeah,
I've been separating.
Yeah, I planted all speckled this year to try to get some granite corn. It would be crazy.
Sweet.
So we'll see how that goes.
I could add to your collection.
All right, well, let's observe the fissure and make some final comments before we stop the stream. Let's go get a close-up of. Let's see if we even have a close-up pulled up here. My goodness. And so the fissure is currently forming a ridge, and that should get quite large by the time the sun sets, and then it might split up into separate vents. But as you can see, that this is continuously erupting along an entire front. There are some small side holes there, and I believe they call them blowholes. See that one right in front?
Yeah.
Yeah. And those have the potential to form little cinder cones. And that's what Bob formed. It was like a 200-foot high mini volcano. It's kind of cool. So this is going to take a while to develop. What the heck? What kind of screen do I have this on? There we go. What was that? All right. I'm new to this game. I think I need a different streaming software that's easier to use, or I'm not using this the easiest way. Have you used StreamYard?
No. I was figuring in about a week you'd be a pro.
Yeah. No, I've had this for a year already. Yeah. All right. Anybody have any questions before we go? And I will restart this and just leave a live stream up here maybe later tonight, so you can all come in and chat for about 3 hours. Maybe with some changing cameras, but definitely some of the best. What do you got in there?
All speckled.
Can we get a close up?
Let's see here.
Yeah,
white ones, green ones, all of the colors, but only speckled ones. Here's a yellow and green. Well, you can't see it.
Can you come? Oh, that's go. Yeah.
You can't see it. That's all right. Same idea though. I've been saving them.
Yeah, we're trying to get the best corn on earth. Yes, Fishers can make spatter corn, says Electric Dog. Kristen Adams was, yes, that would be great. Yeah, these live streams, I'll put one up later tonight. Thank you all for joining us. The Moss Fire has become a fissure eruption in Fagradalsfjall in the, what's the name of the valley? Meradalir. The Meradalir Valley is filling with lava currently, and the game is on. Thanks to all our one-time donors, our super chatters today, Dr. Enoch, all the moderators, and all you awesome people in the chat. Be safe. We love you. Ransom, final words. Oh, shout out your new channel so that they can go subscribe there.
Mountain High Time.
And you just put that.
It's not banned yet.
You put that in the YouTube search, and you will find Ransom's new 420 The Freedom is Films channel at Mountain High Time. Be safe, everyone. We love you.
Peace.
Peace.